To Tim Doescher now is Executive Director of the Committee to Unleash Prosperity, formerly with Heritage. Good to see you, Tim. Now, do you feel like we almost have to be getting close to something here, right? Don't you think we have in the next, maybe if it's not this week, you have to really work fast. A lot of people keep telling us the next month or so is very, very important just in terms of timeline, the ports and everything else, because you go much past that, we could be in some economic trouble. Is that fair?
Yeah, absolutely. I think that we should be getting close. Otherwise, they're lying. I mean, if you say that we're getting close to a deal and then we don't have a deal, then we don't have a deal. And so, but what I'm hearing from all of the sources that we have is that everybody is lining up. And the interesting thing is they're on board for isolating China, putting China in a corner. Make a deal with us first, and then we'll see how China responds once the entire world, kind of shows who their friends are. And I think that doing business in America is much more preferable than doing business with China. So I do think that you got to get with a deal soon, though. You got to announce that soon, and I think that we'll be seeing it.
If that's the case, I mean, that was the plan 10 years ago when they had what was called TPP in place. They said, all right, we're going to isolate China. We're all going to have a trade deal, all, us and all the other countries in Asia. So why go through all of this then?
Well, I mean, look, those multi-country deals are not what we're talking about here. We are talking about one-on-one. Let's do what's best for America, not have to capitulate to union policy and climate change policy. Everything that was wrapped up into those big deals, like you're talking about, were things that were upsetting to a lot of Americans. So I think that that's the difference here.
Okay, that's an interesting point. Yeah, you try to do it one-on-one. Of course, that takes longer potentially, but they got to start knocking them out pretty soon. Here's how the president put it, because he's been talking about this, that if they don't get a deal, he's just going to start picking tariff rates. Here's part of what President Trump had to say. Again, take a listen.
Every country, almost without fail, friend and foe, has been ripping us off for years. So we're meeting with almost all of them, including China. It's not like we're going to sit down in an ivory room and we're going to he's going to say, there'll be some of that, very little. I don't see a lot of it. At some point in the next 2 weeks or 3 weeks, I'm going to be setting the deal.
So he then, Tim, put the time on 2-3 weeks, right? And he says, I'm going to be setting the deal. Now, I assume from just hearing his comments, even in his interview over the weekend on Meet the Press, that it's not going to be the same rates he had up on that chart in the Rose Garden. It's going to be some other rate, just higher than 10%, I guess, is what he would do, or what he's talking about. What do you think?
Oh, look, that's the art of the deal, isn't it? It never starts where you want it. You start here, and then you end up somewhere here. And I think that that's exactly what we're talking about. We are watching it happening in real time. And the other part of art of the deal is if you think that you're going to get the strategy, you're not going to get it. You're going to be asking, questions like, do you think a deal is going to be made? And that's part of the thing that's why the markets are so skittish. That's why we're seeing the reaction that we're seeing, is because of the uncertainty. And I think that Trump is playing into that. And so again, this is going to result in either a good political win or a bad political win that's going to be affected in the ballot box, I believe, in the midterm elections. And I think that there's a lot at stake here. And so the deals are being made. I believe they are. And I think that we can make good deals and make better and more prosperous America for everybody.
Yeah, I wonder if the stock market coming back a little, as it did certainly last week and the week before, helps and buys the president.
Happened. Absolutely, that happened when they started talking about the deals they are making. Watch the stock market; it is incredible.
Come up 9 days in a row on the S&P and into today, so maybe that helps a little in buying time to get these deals. And have an inordinate amount of time, but it relaxes people a little bit. Final thing on Bessent, because I think it's interesting how he's kind of come out ahead of this. Certainly, ahead of. In the public front, at least, I had people like Peter Navarro. What Bessent wrote about in the Journal was the 3 steps to economic growth: tax cuts, cost savings from deregulation, raise real incomes for families and businesses. Then he says tariffs provide income tax relief, create incentives for reindustrialization, and deregulation complements tariffs by encouraging investments in energy and manufacturing. So it's 3-pronged for him. Markets, business type people, as you know, they love probably 2 of the 3. The tariffs are the one they have questions about, and they wonder maybe why the administration started with that. What do you think?
Well, I mean, what if you get better tariff deals, though? I mean, that's really the thing. These are an exact contrast to what the Biden administration did. You wanted more regulations? That was Biden. You wanted higher taxes? That was Biden. You wanted higher inflation? That was Biden. And he's providing the supply side pro-growth policies that basically Trump campaigned on. So, and also Trump campaigned on tariffs too. But remember, he didn't campaign on high tariffs. He campaigned on better deals. So I think that that's the thing that Secretary Bessent is referring to there. Use tariff threat to get to a better deal in total, not just with tariffs, but also non-tariff barriers.
Thank you for watching. Subscribe below and download our NewsNation app right now on your phone, and you will get fact-based, unbiased news for all Americans.